What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Hellblade 2 yet again. Over the past couple of days, there's been some hints, potentially, if you want to look at them as hints at least, that the game is going to be releasing in 2023, or at least that it possibly can. So, while we're over here talking about Redfall and looking forward to Starfield, right, and all the people talking, what can save Xbox, Starfield has to nail it, all that jazz. Hellblade 2 just can quietly, I think, come out and I think be a Game of the Year contender. It's one of my most anticipated games, not just from Xbox, but just in general. I mean, Hellblade 2 is definitely up there in games I'm really looking forward to. So, two different things. Number one, this was a couple days ago. There's actually just literally a Game Pass ad that's been going around, and they're showing games from 2023 titles, and Hellblade 2 is one of the games in the ad. Now, I guess that doesn't guarantee it, but if one thing is not like the others, why is it in the ad, in the first place? I think there had already been talk, and we've heard rumors even dating beyond just a few days ago. The game could, sneak in, right? It could be maybe like a November, December thing. I bet it's probably like a 50-50 thing. I mean, to get to my short predictions of this thing, I think it could come out this year. And if you're, forecasting, Starfield obviously in September, I think this game could try to sneak out maybe like early December, right? That final wave of games before the Game Awards and then before the year ends. I think it can do it, but I think if you flip the coin and it lands on the other side, I think it probably comes out, February or late January. I think that's maybe equally as likely. But, the Game Pass ad, that being one, the most recent one is actually from today, and it comes from Phil Spencer himself. Now, his is, you have to read into it more. You have to take a bigger leap of faith, right? You could definitely poke more holes in it. He was talking about games to come. And he mentions Forza and he mentions Starfield, right? And then he also mentions Hellblade right after that. So you could look at it that he's going in order. Now, again, you'd be reading into it and you could, I guess, poke holes into it. But if he's going in order, well, obviously, Hellblade would be the third of that three games. He then also actually mentions collection of games, like just collections, in general. And then he mentions Avowed, that he's seen good builds of Avowed. Now, Avowed, I think progressively as time has gone on, right, that's going to be a 2024 game. So depends on how you look at it. He could be lumping it in with Avowed just because he puts it third in the order of, say, 5 things, right? He listed 5 different games. If you want to count the collection of games, Hellblade being number 3 doesn't mean that that's 2023, but you combine it with this ad. Now, I'll play devil's advocate. I actually like to do that in general. People get mad at me when I play devil's advocate on myself in my own videos. I understand it. One thing I'll throw out is we've seen this in the past, Game Pass kind of ads or Game Pass roadmaps, let's say. I think, last June when they did their show, which I thought was incredible, and they showed what's to come, right? And it was generally in order. A lot of the games in Game Pass or coming to Game Pass were listed in the order that they would be coming out. And then some of them had generalities, right? Some said 2023, but also I think in like a little small writing, it was that like all of them would release over the next 12 or so months. I believe Arc 2 is on that list. That game's been delayed till spring of 2025. You have games like Hollow Knight, which I don't really have to explain anymore because I know there's that very dedicated group that have been asking for that game for 500 years. So the only reason I bring that up is because, okay, well, Phil says it, and I guess specifically this is to counter my it's in an ad, speech or point. Just because it is in an ad, or just because you see it on a like an infographic, right, doesn't mean that it stays there forever. Doesn't mean that it has to. There's no legally binding contract that they have to do that, right? So that's that push-pull, and that's something that, I got excited when I saw the list of all the games coming last June. But the truth is that not every game made it. Not every game was in the right order even. In fact, some games were out of order, and then some games have just been completely pushed out of the timeline. So I believe it's possible, but if Redfall should teach us anything, and maybe Starfield will teach us anything, these games got to come out when they're good. Now, I know Phil has talked about, there is a balance, and I agree with him. There's a balance between delaying a game forever and then ultimately deciding that you need to put the thing out. I do think that's a real thing beyond Xbox. I think that's just a thing in general. But you can't have Starfield coming out being in a completely broken state, and Hellblade, using new technology, and it really does seem like it's going to push kind of boundaries, at least technological boundaries, that game cannot come out and be broken, because that's one of the selling points of the game, is look how good it is. Look at the detail. Look at the realism. If the game doesn't work, well, you lose all of that. So the game has to come out when it's ready. If it's not ready by December, you do not put it out in December, right? That is that push-pull of deciding, okay, well, we just have to do it. We can't delay it forever. I think you can. I think you can delay Hellblade at least just a little bit more, get it out when it's ready to. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.